Robbery. Hold up. What? Robbery?
Yeah. The other charge is murder.
Murder?
Yep. You'd be charged with murder.
Me?
Yeah, we got a call from the hospital a little while ago, and she actually passed away from.
Bro, stop playing with me, please.
Seriously.
Please stop playing with me.
Sit down, sit down, sit down, sit down. Look at her right there, right there. So guess what? That was me, you know who.
I will murder you.
Alright,
I will murder you. I will murder you.
What do you do when someone's final moments begin long before they ever realize they're in danger? That's the question hiding at the center of this case, and it's the reason this story feels so unnervingly close to home. Because Ashley Bocanegra didn't walk into a dark alley or a stranger's car or some abandoned place people warn you about. She walked into an everyday apartment complex, in broad daylight, to help someone she trusted. Listen closely, because once you hear what happened in the next few hours, you'll understand why the title of this video had to be what it is. Teen murderer laughs moments after killing young mom. And the thumbnail text, "She's dead." It isn't there for shock. It isn't exaggeration. It's the exact cold reaction a 17-year-old girl had after a young mother took her final breath. The story you're about to hear isn't just another fight gone wrong. It's a carefully built trap, constructed by two people who spent days weaving jealousy, lies, and rage into something deadly. One of them was barely old enough to drive. The other was old enough to know better. But before detectives could uncover that truth, all they saw was a chaotic street fight, a blur of fists, screams, and a single mother collapsing on the pavement. For a moment, everyone, including first responders, thought this was just another senseless apartment complex brawl. They were wrong, horribly wrong. Because just hours earlier, Janine Gonzalez and her 27-year-old sister-in-law, Antonetta Stevens, had already made their decision. Ashley never had a chance to avoid what was coming, because the conflict wasn't spontaneous. It was planned. And here's the part that will sit uneasily with you. Ashley was there because she believed she was helping someone. She had no idea she had been lured. A mother of a 7-year-old boy walking straight into a setup designed by someone consumed not by fear, but by revenge. But what kind of revenge? And why did a 17-year-old feel powerful enough, calm enough, to laugh moments after a life was taken? There's a reason investigators later called this case a deliberate ambush. And in a moment, you'll see the first piece of that puzzle. How the entire trap began days before Ashley ever stepped foot in that parking lot. Because the truth behind this attack wasn't found on the pavement. It was found in the messages sent before it ever happened. So what exactly was said? And who set the deadly plan in motion? What do you do when someone you trust turns out to be orchestrating your downfall? Hours before tragedy would strike, Ashley Bocanegra had no idea she was walking into a carefully planned trap. What seemed like a routine visit to help a man she cared for would soon reveal itself as something far darker. On August 11, 2022, in Lawrenceville, Georgia, Ashley told her 7-year-old son she'd be back soon. A quick trip, nothing more. She was going to help Daniel Gonzalez, a man she had feelings for, who claimed he'd been kicked out of his apartment. But that text, that simple message, wasn't from Daniel. It was sent by the two people who would later attack her, Daniel's fiancée, 27-year-old Antonetta Stevens and his 17-year-old sister, Janine Gonzalez. They had taken Daniel's phone while he slept, crafting a lure that Ashley couldn't resist. By the time Ashley arrived at the Gwinnett County apartment complex, she was walking straight into danger. At first glance, it might have looked like a spontaneous street fight, but every step, every word, every move had been calculated days before. It wasn't a random act of anger. It was premeditation, fueled by jealousy and obsession. What drove Antonetta and Janine to plan such a brutal act? The answer lay in a deadly love triangle. Daniel's affair with Ashley was the spark, but resentment, betrayal, and obsession created the tinder. When Ashley stepped onto that street, she was completely unaware that she had become the target of a plan that would ultimately cost her life. Even as Ashley approached, neighbors wouldn't have known what was coming. They would only witness fragments, a heated confrontation, a struggle, a young woman's laughter echoing through the street. But behind closed doors, Janine and Antonetta were orchestrating the chaos, preparing for an encounter they knew Ashley couldn't avoid. By the time police were called, the scene had already escalated far beyond what anyone expected. What started as a confrontation over love and loyalty would soon reveal the depths of human cruelty and the chilling calm of a teenager who found satisfaction in someone else's suffering. And yet, while the attack had ended, the story was far from over. How would the authorities untangle the lies from the evidence? How could they uncover the truth in a scenario designed to look like an accident, a fleeting street fight? The answers lay not just in the surveillance footage or the statements of witnesses, but in the very minds of those who had plotted it all along. As Ashley lay in a hospital fighting for her life, detectives would slowly begin to piece together the premeditated setup that led to a young mother's death. And the deeper they dug, the more horrifying the reality became. This was never about chance. This was about revenge. By the end of the day, Ashley's life would be over, but the investigation had only just begun, and the truth about the twisted plan would shock everyone who thought they knew what really happened.
Hello?
Yes, ma'am. This is 911. I'm returning a call.
Hi, I work here at an apartment complex, and there was two girls fighting, and she's really bloody. I can see the blood from where I'm at. They're fighting in the apartment complex, in the parking lot, on the street.
What do you do when a situation feels heated, but you don't realize it's been engineered to destroy you? When Ashley stepped out of her car that evening, she couldn't have known she was already surrounded, not by strangers, but by people who had spent days planning her downfall. She walked into that parking lot believing she was helping someone. Instead, she walked straight into the hands of two women who believed she had taken something from them. In the moments that followed, everything unraveled with terrifying speed. Witnesses later recalled how the confrontation seemed to ignite instantly. No build-up, no argument that could be understood from the outside. Just sudden, explosive violence. Neighbors heard shouting, the sound of bodies colliding, and then the unmistakable tone of laughter from a teenage girl who showed no fear, no hesitation, and absolutely no remorse. That girl was 17-year-old Janine Gonzalez, and that laughter would become a chilling centerpiece of the investigation. Midway through the assault, something became disturbingly clear. Ashley was not fighting two emotional, impulsive people reacting in the moment. She was fighting a plan that had been rehearsed through text messages, strategized inside an apartment, and executed on that pavement. While Ashley struggled to protect herself, Janine appeared energized. Observers described her as almost gleeful, a reaction horrifyingly out of place in a situation that would leave a woman fighting for her life. Antonetta Stevens, older and supposedly more controlled, was no less involved. The two moved with a disturbing coordination, blocking Ashley's escape route, cutting off opportunities to retreat, keeping the chaos contained just enough to make it look like a fight rather than a calculated attack. A neighbor dialed 911. Another shouted at them to stop, but the violence didn't end until it was too late. Ashley collapsed, gravely injured, her breathing shallow, her body still. And as first responders rushed in, Janine stood nearby, not shaken, not panicked, but calm, almost detached. Paramedics quickly realized the severity of Ashley's injuries. There was no time to waste. She was airlifted to Memorial Hospital, while Janine and Antonetta stood behind police tape, giving the appearance of two women involved in an altercation gone wrong. That was their narrative, an altercation that spiraled, a misunderstanding, a moment of anger. But nothing about their behavior fit that story. Not the laughter, not the calm, not the lack of shock as a critically injured woman was flown away. And soon, detectives would see what everyone else had missed. The attack didn't start in that parking lot. It started days earlier on a phone that didn't belong to either attacker. Because once investigators pulled the digital evidence, everything the attackers thought they had covered, the narrative shattered, revealing a darker truth. Ashley had never stood a chance. How do you react when someone you trust sends you a message, only to realize it was a trap? Ashley's visit that evening wasn't spontaneous. It was orchestrated with precision, a lure crafted to manipulate her sense of loyalty and compassion. The messages she received that day, appearing to come from Daniel Gonzalez, the man she trusted, were not from him at all. They came from Antonetta Stevens and Janine Gonzalez. Detectives would later uncover that Daniel's phone had been used without his knowledge. The women sent texts pretending to be him, urging Ashley to come to the apartment complex. Every detail was designed to bait her, a supposed emergency, a plea for help, a sense of urgency that no one could ignore. Ashley, believing she was helping someone in need, drove into the trap. She had no idea that the two women waiting for her had already decided the terms of the confrontation. This was no street fight. This was premeditated, and every step had been calculated. Janine and Antonetta had already rehearsed the sequence of events in their minds. They knew where Ashley would park, how she would approach, even how bystanders might react. Their plan involved more than physical intimidation. It was psychological, a form of control that made the victim act exactly as they intended. But even in their confidence, there was recklessness. Neighbors, friends, and unsuspecting witnesses would notice unusual behavior. The two women blocking exits, the aggressive tone, the taunts hurled during the confrontation. And yet, from the outside, it could be framed as a chaotic argument, a dispute that spiraled out of control. That was the camouflage. What detectives soon realized was that this careful manipulation extended beyond just luring Ashley. The theft of her phone wasn't theft at all. It was a calculated move to maintain the illusion, to control the narrative, and to ensure she couldn't call for help. Every action, every laugh, every minor taunt was part of the trap. By the time the attack ended and Ashley stumbled toward her apartment, it was already too late.
The evidence of planning, deceit, and malicious intent was buried in the small details. A message here, a stolen phone there, a carefully staged street confrontation. And when the police began piecing together those digital breadcrumbs, what they found was more than just a fight. It was a blueprint for murder, hiding in plain sight.
What happens when a confrontation, fueled by jealousy and revenge, finally erupts in the open? Ashley had arrived at the complex unaware of the trap waiting for her. Janine Gonzalez and Antonetta Stevens were ready. Their anger, carefully cultivated over days of planning, finally found its outlet. Witnesses later described a chaotic scene, shouts, pushes, and blows exchanged in a flurry of violence. At first glance, it seemed impulsive, just two women in a heated fight. But investigators would uncover the truth. The assault was deliberate, with each movement designed to harm. Janine's aggressive energy, paired with Antonetta's calculated control, ensured that Ashley could not escape. Ashley, despite her injuries, tried to reclaim control, attempting to get her phone back, the very device that had been used to manipulate her. She followed them back toward their apartment, but the physical and psychological assault had already weakened her. Every strike, every kick, every shove compounded the danger, turning a moment of anger into something far more sinister. Neighbors and bystanders witnessed portions of the confrontation, and some even intervened, calling authorities. Yet by the time help arrived, the damage had already been done. The street that had seemed ordinary, mundane even, had become a stage for tragedy. Inside the apartment, the women showed no remorse. Janine, especially, exhibited a disturbing sense of pride. Smiles, laughter, casual conversation, all masking the severity of their actions. Detectives would later note how chilling it was that someone so young could carry out such violence with such apparent ease. Her demeanor unshaken even as the reality of death loomed. By the time Ashley was airlifted to the hospital, her condition was critical. Doctors fought to stabilize her, but the trauma inflicted during those moments on the street had already set irreversible damage in motion. And when police received the call from the hospital, the case shifted from assault to murder. A grim revelation that would send shockwaves through everyone involved.
I know, that was the girls that were walking. They went to Quick Trip. Hey!
Hi.
I'm Detective Carter with Gwinnett County Police. Your internet?
Yes, hi.
Hey, this is Detective Poppy.
That's me.
We know that there was like an incident that happened earlier today. Has anyone called you about it since?
No. Was somebody supposed to?
Well, we just got another call about it. So I guess the girl went to the hospital and she died.
She died?
She's dead. So, but we know that there was like an altercation that happened beforehand.
And that was mutual and she came here.
Yeah, we understand that.
Yeah.
So, but because of it.
I wasn't going to kill anybody.
Yeah.
I'm not that person.
I get it.
Yeah.
But because of that, we have to kind of talk to you guys and get a more formal statement.
Sure, okay. Wow, I'm so sorry about that. That was not my intention. I've been mentally going through a lot. I have bipolar depression and I'm just going through a lot right now. And, you know, I came here from up north with my fiance. That's him. Hey. I came here with my fiance. Yeah, so I came
Are you
here,
the sister? His
yeah,
sister, okay.
Sister. I came here with my fiance to start a new life, buy a house, everything like that, and I never expected him to basically cheat on me with someone at the workplace, you know what I'm saying?
So we would like to get like a formal statement, so we're going to ask that you come up to our headquarters and talk to us.
It's just right up the street.
Okay. All right.
I hear kids. Is there someone else here that can? There's someone here with them?
Yeah.
Okay.
What do you do when the ones responsible for a life lost smile as if nothing happened? As police returned to Antonetta Stevens' apartment, the tone of the investigation shifted dramatically. The casual street fight they thought they were dealing with had escalated into a full-blown homicide case. Janine Gonzalez and Antonetta Stevens were no longer just involved in an assault. They were now facing charges that could define the rest of their lives. Janine was brought in first. From the very start, her behavior was unnerving. She laughed, cracked jokes, and smirked, as if the seriousness of the situation had not yet reached her. Detectives observed her closely, careful to maintain a calm, almost conversational tone, allowing her to speak freely. She rambled, she justified, she even bragged in parts, not realizing that every word, every admission was being cataloged as evidence. It was this unguarded confidence, the very thing that made her dangerous, that would later tie her to Ashley's death. Meanwhile, in a separate room, Antonetta presented a stark contrast. She was guarded, silent at first, and quick to request a lawyer. Unlike Janine, Antonetta attempted to paint herself as a victim caught in circumstances beyond her control. She claimed Ashley had arrived uninvited, that she had been attacked first, and that the events were nothing more than a mutual confrontation. But detectives already had all the pieces: witness statements, video evidence, and text messages, and her story began to crumble under scrutiny. Detectives turned their attention back to Janine, carefully applying pressure. They introduced the messages sent from Daniel's phone, confronting her with the reality that the fight had been a setup. Her expressions flickered slightly as she realized that the casual lies she had spun could no longer protect her. Each admission she made, from dragging Ashley to striking her, painted a picture of deliberate, violent intent. And yet, she seemed almost proud of it, a chilling window into the mind of a teenager detached from the consequences of her actions. The contrast between Janine and Antonetta was striking. One remained unnervingly nonchalant, almost amused by the investigation, while the other attempted to distance herself, to rationalize, and to claim innocence. It revealed something darker than the crime itself: the human capacity for denial, manipulation, and detachment from moral responsibility. Detectives then prepared to deliver the final blow. The room fell silent as they informed Janine of the ultimate consequence of her actions. Ashley Bocanegra had not survived her injuries. The weight of the statement hung in the air, a stark and irrevocable reality, marking the point where casual cruelty transformed into irrevocable tragedy. Janine's smirk faltered, but only slightly. How would she respond when the full magnitude of her actions became undeniable? And what would Antonetta do when her carefully constructed defense began to collapse around her?
What happens when a calculated act of violence finally meets the full force of the law? After hours of interviews, evidence gathering, and piecing together the events of that fatal day, investigators had a complete picture. Janine Gonzalez and Antonetta Stevens, once seemingly ordinary young women, were now facing the consequences of a brutal, premeditated assault that ended a mother's life. The charges were clear: robbery by force and voluntary manslaughter. The stolen phone, initially taken to lure Ashley, became a key element in proving intent.
Every text, every call, every manipulated message demonstrated that this was not a spontaneous confrontation. It was planned, calculated, and executed with deadly precision. Detectives compiled the evidence meticulously, connecting each step of the attack to both women. Court proceedings began, and the story of that August day in Lawrenceville, Georgia, was laid bare. Witnesses described the attack, the chaotic struggle, and the moments leading up to Ashley being airlifted to the hospital. Medical reports revealed the devastating injuries that claimed her life: internal bleeding, trauma to vital organs, and a ruptured adrenal gland. It was a level of brutality that left a permanent scar on the community, on her son, and on everyone who would come to learn the truth. During the trial, the stark contrast between Janine and Antonetta was again evident. Janine appeared detached, her earlier smirk replaced with a quiet, unnerving composure. Antonetta attempted to shift blame, claiming she had acted in the heat of the moment, but the evidence was overwhelming. Texts, videos, and witness statements left no room for doubt. The jury watched as the story unfolded, a love triangle turned deadly, jealousy fueled by betrayal, and the chilling casualness with which two women carried out a violent plot. In the end, both were convicted. Each was sentenced to 20 years in prison, a sentence reflecting the gravity of the crime and the lasting consequences of their actions. The case served as a grim reminder that premeditated violence, even among the young, leaves a trail of devastation that cannot be undone. 3 young boys lost a mother who would never return home. A community grappled with the senselessness of it all, and the women responsible would spend decades behind bars. The courtroom was silent as the verdict was read, a final moment of reckoning for actions that had started as a simple confrontation but spiraled into unimaginable tragedy. Even behind bars, questions lingered. Could anyone truly understand what drove Janine and Antonetta to such extremes? And what became of the young boy left without his mother, forced to grow up in the shadow of a crime that changed everything?
See you about it afterwards?
No, the only thing she said is, why would you do this to me? And I told her, like, we're not, like, the love interest is gone, everything. Like, I told her this yesterday when she saw me walking with the girl.
Oh, okay.
And I stopped her. I was like, you're not gonna fight her because of what we're going through. It's not her fault, you know.
Did she message
Yes,
Ashley from your phone?
She did, and I'm pretty
pretending
sure
to be
Ashley
you?
Yes.
There's about what happened too. Your sister kicked me in the back by my heart and chest.
Yes, and I know she has heart problems. Like, this is like crazy to me. Like it's not like this is fresh. Like, I'm over here cheating on this woman. I'm not. We've been like, this has been a toxic environment, and she's just been trying to figure out what to do, and I've been trying to figure out what to do, but she doesn't want nobody to leave.
Where you at? I need to see you. I'm in the bed.
Is she hurt?
Let me see you.
Like, real bad?
So
honestly, I'm not gonna make a show. I'm not gonna go and yell. I'm not gonna go call her. I just want to know.
we got a call from the hospital a little while ago, and she actually passed away.
Bro, stop playing with me,
No,
please.
seriously.
Please stop playing with me.
Sit down. Sit down. Sit down. Sit down. Sit down. Sit down. Sit down.
Please stop playing with me.
Shh, breathe. 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 Breathe.
Please stop playing with me, man.
Look at me. Look at me. Breathe.
How does a community begin to heal after a tragedy that cuts so deeply, so unexpectedly? In the weeks and months following Ashley Bocanegra's death, Lawrenceville struggled to make sense of what had happened. Neighbors replayed the day in their minds, haunted by the images of a single mother attacked in broad daylight
and the shocking casualness of her assailants. Her 7-year-old son, once waiting for his mother's quick return, now faced a childhood forever altered, a world suddenly emptied of her presence. Family, friends, and even casual acquaintances grappled with questions. How could two women so young commit an act so calculated, so merciless? The answers were partial at best. Psychologists and legal experts pointed to jealousy, obsession, and manipulation as driving forces. Yet even with all the analysis, the human element, the sheer audacity and casual cruelty remained chillingly unexplained. Community members organized vigils, attempting to honor Ashley's life and support her children. But the shadow of that day lingered in every corner of the neighborhood. Meanwhile, Janine and Antonetta adjusted to life behind bars, stripped of freedom, confronted daily with the weight of their decisions. Janine, who once laughed moments after the assault, was now forced to confront the reality of her actions without the veneer of bravado. Antonetta, who had tried to portray herself as a victim, faced the consequences of orchestrating a plan that led to death. Both women would spend decades reflecting on choices that led to irreversible outcomes, a stark contrast to the fleeting moment of control they once wielded on that August afternoon. The case also sparked broader discussions about accountability, the warning signs of escalating violence, and the consequences of manipulation within personal relationships. It reminded law enforcement and communities alike that seemingly small disputes, when fueled by jealousy and premeditation, could erupt into tragedy. Ashley's story, while heartbreaking, became a cautionary tale, the cost of betrayal, and the fragility of life when human emotions are twisted toward vengeance. In the quiet that follows tragedy, the question remains: can the pain ever truly be reconciled? And what lessons, if any, can the world take from a crime so dark, so calculated, that it leaves an indelible mark on everyone it touches?
The tragedy of Ashley Bocanegra didn't end on the street that day. A young mother, a calculated betrayal, and a twisted love triangle left lives shattered and a community in shock. Justice was served, but the echoes of fear, jealousy, and violence linger. In the shadows of ordinary lives, how many truths go unnoticed, waiting for the moment they'll explode into darkness?